Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the Anime Symposium. I'm your host, Andrew, the resident lover of tsundere, short-hair girls, and pop filters. With me, I have my co-host, Dawson.
What's up, guys? I'm Dawson. I like many things, romance and ponytails. I have Connor here, and yeah.
He will be also joining us here. Connor?
Hi, Dawson. Hey, I'm Connor. I'm the fan of Monster Girls and Berserk here. Generally, my favorite stuff is not shonens, seinens.
Seinens,
I
yeah.
kind of hate shonens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our resident hater of shonens.
Resident second hater of shonens.
And I'm the shonen apologist here. Yeah, you and your seinens, with your dark stuff and all that stuff, and death.
Yes.
Meaningless.
I
and
absolutely
stuff like
hate the show we're about to be talking about. Totally.
Of course.
Oh, you totally hate this shit.
This is such a shonen.
Yeah, but
yeah, it
love
totally
it,
is, but it's great. Well,
like,
traditional shonens are what I dislike. I don't
Yeah,
know if Connor's the same, but
No, traditional shonens of like, oh hey, I'm this guy, I'm gonna go beat the bad guy. We beat the bad guy. There's a new bad guy. Got a train.
Yeah.
See, in America, this could be considered for like an older audience, but in Japan, like sexuality is a bit more like loose. I don't know. People are a bit more loose on it.
It's both loose and not loose. It's just kind of different.
It's immature and mature at the same time.
Speaking of sexuality, what show are we going to be talking about?
Today we will be talking about the show Shimoneta, A World Without Dirty Jokes, if I'm correct, because I cannot pronounce the Japanese title for the
It's a
life
boring
of me.
world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist.
It's a
There you go.
classic light novel.
Yeah, it's an adaptation.
light novel title.
Yeah, it's an adaptation from a light novel as well as kind of a manga. Well, there's a manga, but
I feel like it's adapted from the light novel.
Yeah, it's more
not
adapted.
directly from the manga.
yeah, I mean, I read some of the manga and it's okay. I mean, it's almost
It's been out for a while, but now it's just getting translated because
Yeah,
of
'cause
the
now-
popularity of the show.
exactly.
Nobody translates light novels.
Yeah,
Single tier.
unfortunately for you, you light novel reader. But the concept that we're going to present to you, listeners of where you're listening to, iTunes, YouTube, wherever I decide to post this up, the concept that we're trying to do is we want to discuss the show fully and in depth. And the best way we could say it is we're having this roundtable discussion of everything about the show, from plot, characters, themes, and everything. Basically, a full discussion. We'll have a little section in the beginning where we kind of review the show and kind of, give you the general gist. So if you're interested, you could go watch it.
This will be spoiler-free,
Yeah.
or at least spoiler-light.
Yeah,
What
this
comes later will have
Yeah.
spoilers in it, so you should probably have watched the show before you watch that part. But the beginning, you should be good.
Yeah,
for.
what we wanted to do is a bit of a section for people who are interested in the show and a bit of the section for the people who have watched the show and want to hear other people's thoughts on the matter. Because everyone's thoughts matter.
Or more to the point, they want to hear their own thoughts echoed.
Exactly. And that's why people listen to things. But besides that, we all kind of love anime, and we've decided to do this just because we watch a lot of anime, we talk about it, and
We all have rather different tastes too, so it makes things interesting.
so we wanted to discuss them, and we wanted to put them on a recording form for people to, so that we take our thoughts and put them somewhere. Because we have a lot of thoughts at times, and we feel that we could contribute to what we think about the show and the themes and meanings behind it.
And because none of us can edit, we're making it a podcast.
I can edit pretty well. Stop insulting my abilities.
Dude, you just bought the software.
Dude, I've been editing stuff since high school, man.
Since, what was it? I'm not going to, never mind.
We're
not gonna talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that dark time.
If you guys
in
want
my
the
life.
best YouTube channel, just comment.
But, so, for this first section is we're going to do a very simple, no spoiler section of the show where we basically summarize the show. So to start, Shimoneta, A Boring World Where the Concept of Dirty Jokes Doesn't Exist, is a anime that aired in summer of 2015. Summarize the show.
Yeah, as you can probably tell by the name, it's sort of a, I wouldn't say dystopian future, but it's pretty bad.
I call it dystopian.
Okay, the end of Foreign's pretty bad. So basically, nothing remotely sexual is allowed. It's like UC Berkeley. No, I'm sorry.
It's also, quick note, it's isolated to Japan. It doesn't include outside countries other than that.
But basically, it's sort of 1984, the no porn edition. Everyone has these little, I believe it's on their wrist or necks.
They have both, actually.
Yeah.
They wear a watch-like thing on their wrist, which is pretty cool, actually. I'd almost want
It's
that
like
if
the
it wasn't
iPhones of the
connected
future.
to...
Yeah, and the bracelets basically will read all your hand movements, all your speeches, and if you were to...
Well, the neck does.
The neck,
speech.
I'd assume, is what does the
Yeah.
speech movement, but it
And-
tracks what you're doing and saying.
And with these bracelets and necklaces, they're able to track what you're saying, and if you say anything that is lewd, that is sexual, that is anything that's, like, unhealthy in their opinions, then they will be arrested, they get punished, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, this show's got a special police force of their own in it, basically. It's called the Decency Squad, and they go around and just mess with people who...
And arrest them
Yeah,
for...
just anybody who's doing anything dirty,
Yeah.
they come and arrest them, basically.
Like, the best example is in the very first scene of the show is you started off as a bunch of people are just looking at, nudie mags, something that's very
Yeah.
normal in our society nowadays, and just a bunch of police people just come in and, arrest them all and burn the magazines because they're not healthy. They're not decent enough.
Yeah.
Basically, Japan is this head of morals because of all these radical changes for it. And it's very, there's benefits towards that kind of world, but at the same time, there's also a lot of consequences because of it.
Yeah.
But because it's seen as so healthy, it's not going away anytime soon.
Within the context of the show, at least.
Yeah, and I think that it kind of echoes a lot of the society that we have nowadays, which is kind of part of the themes that we will, discuss at further length later.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes along with the themes of, if you kind of look at our world, around us now, specifically in America, there's a lot of people who kind of, stop and, try to, prevent, sexuality, nudity, and stuff like that.
Don't talk it
Yeah.
up too much, though. It's very much mostly a comedy.
Yeah, it's
It's-
mostly a comedy more
It's
than anything
immature
else.
sex jokes.
I don't know,
to
there's
the
a lot of
max.
themes.
It's got underlying themes, but they're not. It's not. I mean, they're there, but a majority of people aren't watching the show for the themes. You're
You're
watching
watching
it because it's funny sex humor.
Well, yeah, and the themes come along with the humor behind
Yeah.
it.
And
It
most
has
of
a
the humor is,
point.
why the fuck are they showing this on TV?
Basically, this show is like Eki with a point. Which, if you like that, you're probably gonna like this.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of censorship in it, and for example, they come out with an uncensored version and a censored version. And for people who are thinking of watching this, we highly suggest the censored version.
As ironic as that seems.
Yes, as ironic as that seems.
Because they don't show shit in the uncensored version anyways.
Yeah, and it's better that you get the
Yeah.
illusion that they're showing things, and the censorship actually adds to a bit of the comedy behind a lot of the actions and words that they're saying.
Yeah,
They
they don't use light bars or steam and stuff like that to center. They're using
Something
these
like prison
hilarious
school.
little stickers.
Yeah,
It's always a chibi of the
Poor
character.
prison school.
yeah. You're gonna say something?
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll move on and start talking about the actual characters themselves.
Yeah.
One of the actual main driving plots of the show is this character who we can't even talk about right now because of spoilers. But if you see anything about Shimoneta, it's probably about this person. She leads the show. She kind of derails it at a point, and it's not the character you'd usually expect. But as for the main leads, we have our main character Okuma, who is the most hated character of the show because it's just for other reasons we can't explain. But no, so basically Okuma is the guy. He's the resident normal character. He comes in. He knows a bunch about sex and stuff, but everyone else is super ignorant towards it. And he's trying really hard to become more pure and stuff. He's been inspired by someone he saw from the school that he's moved to.
But the thing is that he comes and meets a person named Ayami, who is basically not as pure as she would seem to be, and he gets kind of wrapped up into terrorism, sexual terrorism, basically, which is not as bad as it sounds, because it's basically them running around throwing nudie cards at people and like putting like porn magazines everywhere and just kind of spreading around lewdness.
Yeah, they call it terrorism. It's more like shenanigans to me. But
so our two leads basically lead this kind of revolution in a way against the society that they're in.
And everyone kind of treats it like terrorism because of like how overreactionary everyone is to sexuality here.
Exactly.
And so basically, as you've told me before while you were watching this, that most of the characters in the show are very unique in their ways. Do you want to express on that?
I'd say most characters have at least one unique spin on them, maybe minus the main character. His uniqueness comes from sort of his past and stuff, and he's a constantly changing character, but people hate him. Ayami, she's quite interesting. She'll like just throw in random sexual words and stuff. She has this sort of obsession with just making dirty jokes, which is, it kind of gets annoying at a point, but they throw a spin on it later that makes it a little bit more bearable, or you might call her even more hypocritical. It depends on.
Yeah.
And not only that, but besides the two mains, the rest of the cast are mostly unique and very kind of interesting spins on different tropes that you would think that they would be.
Most of the cast, they're not trying to sort of stick them to a trope. It's more like, how can we get as many jokes as possible from this character?
Yeah.
So they'll just throw sort of random stuff onto them.
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of repeat characters or anything like that either. They do a good job of keeping the cast diverse.
Yeah, it's only 12 episodes, so it's a very quick watch, a very worthwhile watch specifically. And to tie up this section, would you guys recommend the show?
I would recommend the show if you are okay with Eki. If you can't stand Eki, don't watch it, but otherwise, go for it. It's also hilarious.
It's also very sexuality sort of light. They'll touch on like basic topics of stuff, like they'll touch on like masturbation or normal like porn, gay porn, stuff like that. But they don't really go super in depth for it. If you're looking for something like that, I'd more suggest Prison School.
Yeah, this is more. I feel like this is more thematic based a little bit. Like again.
I know this is a shonen, so they're going to be talking about sort of stuff that like teenagers think about when they think about sexuality.
Yeah.
Which fits because the cast is a bunch of teenagers. They are in a high school, so that's actually, I would say, one of the places where a high school actually is merited, to have
the
that
school setting
the school setting
is worth having.
So, in my opinion, I would say I highly suggest you watch this. It is a really good watch, really funny, and if you feel like ever dropping it, at least get to
episode 6 is where it kind of, that's sort of the shock episode.
Yeah,
you should like record your own reaction or something.
Yeah, you get to the halfway point, and if you get to the halfway point and if you still don't like it, then drop it. But if you enjoy it, then go on, finish it, because
highly suggest watching behind locked doors.
Exactly. Yeah. Never do not watch this in public, but it's 12 episodes, fantastic. I think you should watch it. 10 out of 10. No,
I'd say 8 out of 10. Maybe 7 or 8 is pretty
I'd give
decent.
it 8 out of 10.
8 out of
7
10?
I'd give it 7 out of 10.
7.5 maybe?
I'm going 7 out of 10.
Okay,
I really liked it, but
it's
not perfect.
Yeah. Again, don't expect this mind-blowing anime, but
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's a lot
of shock and it's a lot of craziness.
Yeah, if you want
something to talk about, I would suggest watching.
If you want to talk about it, if you want to have some fun and just kind of be entertained,
exactly,
totally watch this.
Okay, I think we're going to be moving forward to the spoiler portion. So
yes.
if you want to
spoilers past this point.
So if you're at this point, please, if you're at this point and haven't watched it, go watch it. And if you still are at this point and have not watched it and you decide to keep going, well, keep watching or keep listening.
Please, we don't have very many.
Yeah, we have 2 people listening to this.
We don't even know that, dude.
I think we have 2 people.
We'll have 2 people watching, but it'll be us. So.
No, dude, it will be your parents.
See, not even all 3 of us are going to watch.
Dude, I'm not going to re-listen to this afterward. No, I'm kidding. I have to re-listen to this to edit it down. I guess your parents and maybe, his brother.
I swear to God, if you show this to my parents,
I'll just show it to my cat.
Huh?
If you show this to my parents, I'm going to kill you. So,
I'll just post it on your Facebook.
I know you are. And I'll try to find out a way to delete it.
I'll post our next episode on, so it's a little bit more family friendly. But okay, so now we're gonna go way into detail. the best way I described it to these people as I was, pitching them this idea for this podcast is, think about it as an iceberg, as this first section is just the tip. And now we're going fully deep, and we're just going to basically deconstruct every portion of this anime and talk about it.
On that, and we're like, fuck the shit out of this show. We're all the way deep in. You can't go you can't pull out now. You gotta keep going for it.
Oh my god, all those jokes, I kind of feel bad because, Okuma's just constantly just,
bombarded.
Can he just talk normally? I don't know if I could actually deal with that.
She seems like an alcoholic to me. She needs to do it. She has withdrawals.
Okay,
they could make it a much darker show if she didn't get that whole phone thing, and then she just, scrapes herself in the corner like Need
to say dirty jokes.
Yeah, we'll get more onto that in a bit. But for the first part, let's talk about the plot. It's 12 episodes, very short. So, what did you guys think about the overall?
Who haven't watched it and still going.
No. This is
spoilers
spoilers begin. Yeah, this is the third spoiler warning. I feel like anyone's.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I was just saying.
It's no trespassing signs. You set up a couple. People eventually they get the idea.
Yeah.
But now we're also setting up the welcome mats for people who don't listen to the trespassing sign. But some people don't care about. Spoilers.
And you get to that third trespassing sign, and they're like, okay, I guess they really don't want me listening to this. So, okay. I mean, if you really want to, then just mute it, let the whole video play out, so at least we get a view, and then we don't mind if you don't listen to us, but
just do whatever you want.
Yeah, just do whatever.
You're your own person.
Anyways, plot. So basically, Okumo shows up. Okumo shows up on the first day of school, and on the way.
The thing is, the main plot point is he's come from the most morally, the least moral school
to the most
Japan.
Yeah, within Japan to the most moral school because he passed all the moral tests.
But on the way, he kind of encounters a character who's being sort of swindled. It's showing the system being abused, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to get money off of this person
by saying that he's harassing me, but he's actually not."
Yeah. So our main steps in and says, "Oh, sorry, that was me. I forgot what he says, but he makes it seem like it's an accident, but it's his fault instead."
Basically, it's this opening part a bit shows his kind of even though he sees the morality within the world, he has his kind of own sense of justice in a way.
Yeah, and he sort of sees that the way that they're doing it is wrong, but at the same time he has this drive to be pure. So as this happens, the lady decides to double down on him instead, since he let her get away. So at this point, our second lead shows up, Ayame.
Yes, and at the time she's dressed up as her alternate personality, Blue Snow, which basically is a terrorist who goes around just throwing nudie pics at people.
Basically, it's a black-haired girl, naked, wearing only a sheet, with panties on her face, running around and dropping nudie pics everywhere.
Exactly. And for them, that's very terrorism. So
it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's pretty. And so that's how so from this point, he kind of sees this character and is able to escape and go to school. The whole point of why he wants to go to school, though, at the most morally the most moral school in the country, is because he has this respect for a girl named Anna. And Anna,
she's the purest character you'd ever see. She's perfect at everything.
Yeah, she's the purest of the pure. Her parents are the people who led the charge into making.
And they're still in charge.
Yeah, making the country as pure as they are. And so from here, he gets put into the student council. He finds out that Ayame, the vice president of the student council, is the terrorist, and he starts getting wrapped up in a lot of the terrorists.
She basically blackmails him.
Yeah, blackmails him into helping, since he's the son of a famous pervert.
Yeah, so that's why she wants to enlist him. I think the blackmail just says that she'll basically tell him about what happened on the bus.
And then you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, and if you rat me out, she's Anna's best friend, so if she gets ratted out, it'll actually hurt Anna even worse, which Okuma, idolizes Anna so much that he's, willing to do anything for her at this point.
So at this point in time...
At this point in the story.
Yeah. At this point in time, he gets blackmailed and forced into doing terrorism with her. But as we progress through the series, though, he starts to get, less as he's being forced and more that he wants to do a lot of the things that they're doing. because he starts to see more of the issues and problems of the world and starts to wanting to fix it.
And the way he puts it is, it's more like he has something repressed inside him that he's trying to like release, that this like society's holding.
Because that's a lot of what's like the plot.
That's for most of the kids as well.
Yeah, is that they're, because of their repression, they're having they're being repressed, having issues. That the part where they're trying to talk about a lot of these lewd acts and stuff like that, but they can't because
And they kind of let their imaginations take hold, and people just like they don't really understand what like anything means, what anything's for, and they sound like 5-year-olds sort of trying to talk about sex.
And because of that, like, they have total misunderstandings, and, the whole point right now is to try to fix this society.
Which, by the way, is why Okuma is brought onto the council himself. He's supposed to be the guy who, like, leads them and shows them, or not leads them, he's supposed to be the guy who's like,
hey, this is lewd.
Yeah, he's the expert on the subject. They, like, bring him in as the expert and go,
and then even though
we're not actually sure what's even lewd or not, so it's kind of hard to, like, say, you can't do this because it's lewd.
And even though he gets put on the council to try to fix things, he ends up not fixing anything because of the terrorism.
Also, he's terrible.
I don't know. I didn't mind him that much.
He's bad at his job.
But we will get more onto Okuma when we really go in depth about his character. Okay, so going away from a little bit more of the plot, let's start talking about the characters, because the characters will lead more into the story as we go through it. So again, let's start discussing our main Tanukichi Okuma. What did you guys think about him?
Okuma, I mean, he was honestly a pretty generic MC, which I'm used to and I don't really have a problem with. Like, I didn't find him extremely special, but he was still entertaining to watch. He had his moments.
Yeah, well, a lot of his moments were him.
Yeah, a lot of his moments. Honestly, he's best when he's reacting to another character.
He's best. He's more of the reactionary character, because I feel that since he's like a generic MC, he's kind of like not really us, but a lot like us in these situations of like, I can't believe this is happening on my screen.
Yeah, he's very. I don't know. What did you guys think of him?
He was an interesting character to start. He had like this whole backstory behind him, and it was going to be like a really interesting dynamic to see him sort of explain everything to people. But he very quickly is replaced on the whole lewdness scale by other characters. And you would think that would be Ayame. However, other...
Well, since we're in the spoiler section, it's fine. But like,
yeah,
it's our resident Anna.
My favorite character,
your favorite
Anna.
character. And as you can see, she's at the bottom of this list because I'm thinking that we're going to discuss her the most. So I'm just putting her at the bottom so that...
Yeah.
Yes, as we can see, not you.
This is good. This goes great for audio.
But yes, he starts off pretty interesting. He gets kind of boring as the world gets more interesting and like kind of ramps up around him. And everything that happens kind of happens to him. He's not really causing much to happen himself.
Yeah,
he's kind of where he actually does something. He's interesting, but he very rarely does anything.
He's kind of there along with the ride.
Yeah, he's very much a generic MC. Like he doesn't just distract from the story by having him there. Like, he's necessary to the plot, but he's definitely not the reason you should be watching this show.
Yes, one of the reasons is my favorite character from this is Ayame, Kajo, which, as Dawson pointed out at this earlier, very similar to Kaicho, which means president.
Yeah, it's student council pres.
Yeah,
president. Period. I don't know. I don't know Japanese that well.
But before I go on to her, I just wanted to point out, I kind of, since you guys thought he was kind of generic, I kind of liked his little story arc that he had in the whole 12 episode anime, where it kind of starts off with him kind of hating his dad for like what he did, but then as you progress, he starts like hating his dad less and less to the end where like he has a new appreciation of his dad.
I don't think he even hates his dad. He just kind of wants to move away from like what he sort of lewdness.
Honestly, it is kind of a little growing up development there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people hate their parents and then grow out of that at some point, which
he starts to become
does.
he starts to become more mature as he becomes more immature.
Yeah. Strangely enough, but it works out.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point that out. That's what I liked about him, where like from like beginning to end, like we talked about this before, where that 11th episode seemed more like an ending.
Yeah.
But then you get to that 12th episode and you go, okay, this is more of the wrap-up episode, like the epilogue, the, seeing his character arc in fruition.
Mm.
But besides that, we have our new other main character, Ayame, which, nicknamed Blue Snow, is the terrorist that wraps Okuma into this whole entire world. Since you started off first, I'll go this time. I liked her character a lot. It's, I mean, you pointed out that she gets kind of like annoying with the dirty jokes, and I kind of feel bad eventually, but I don't know, I kind of like that unique spin and like, I don't know, the straightforwardness of her character comparative to other characters I've seen.
But she has like...
Yeah, but she's
not
not
that
straightforward. I mean, she has her dirty jokes, but I mean, we get the scenes where she is obviously very uncomfortable with anything actually sexual.
Yeah, but you forget the very surface level. She has a disguise, right? She's disguised as this, like, super serious person who doesn't talk very much. And that disguise just, like, dies after a few episodes.
Yeah.
And then under that, she has, like, the foul-mouthed Blue Snow. And then under that, she's, like, super innocent in reality, and she can't even, like, handle seeing anything sexual.
Yeah, she puts up layers and layers, but that first one definitely pulls off by the end for sure. Yeah.
But that's what I like about it, where, like, I like the layered characters of, like, this is the person within the person within the person.
Yeah, just putting up facades. And...
Yeah, just putting up the walls and stuff like that. And her whole entire shtick is that she gets a phone, which basically allows her allow her to bypass a lot of the censors and the
She hardly ever uses it for good. She just uses it to say dirty jokes. Mostly.
Yeah, she basically says it just to add in a bad word or like a sexual term within a thing.
She has an addiction to it.
Yeah, let me just say, it was explained in the plot that she has 3 minutes per day of time to say anything dirty on her phone, and I guarantee you she uses way more than those 3 minutes in like under a single episode.
Yeah,
so
unless those are the only.
No,
it's really just a plot point to allow her to say whatever the hell she wants in a place where she couldn't.
I just like something's coming up the minute she takes out her phone and opens it.
That's true.
It's because she's gonna change facades the minute that comes on.
Yeah,
and that's what
if you really want to fault her for that, you also have to fault JoJo for the same thing. So.
Yeah. I was thinking like, yeah.
Spoilers on that, so we're not going to bring that one up.
Spoilers for a 20-year-old series?
Hey, it has a new adaptation.
Yeah, that's like now half a year? I guess that's past
the dub's new.
I hate
We're not
going to
talk about that, though.
That's for another time and another place.
Anyways, Ayame's okay. She becomes the main love interest towards the end.
Oh, yeah, let me talk about that for a second. I really didn't like, since we've talked about both Okuma and Ayame, I'm fine with her being a love interest, but I feel like at the end of episode 11, was it?
Yeah.
I feel like they shoehorned that development in.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Okay.
At this, let me say my piece for a second.
Okay.
I don't know how the light novels feel on this and how they did it, because I feel like it felt like something that was an anime-only piece of like writing because they wanted to have the relationship develop. I don't know if that's actually the case, but that's definitely what it felt like to me.
We can't do our research.
Yeah, because I can't read the light novels. I'm sorry. I would have more for you if I could.
We could learn Japanese and then just start, just doing this raw.
But basically, I felt that the fact that they developed that relationship to a certain point, like they didn't have a full-on confession or anything, but they definitely did more than hint at it with that last 11th episode as they were second to last 11th episode as they were flying away. And I think it just felt forced and awkward to me. I would have rather them not put that in there.
Well, the thing is, like, I was reading up on this, like what people's thoughts and, like, things were on that. But like Okuma, he doesn't say anything to her. That's all in his mind. Where he says like, "Oh, this is the person I actually like," which that's him that's him saying it to himself. And then for Ayame, for her thing towards him, where she says, "Oh, that's why I love you," it was like, is you know who the character she is. It doesn't necessarily mean in a romantic sense of way.
A lot of times she says you have like the most beautiful dirty mind and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's
and
just
they sort
kind
of inspire each other as like workers in the same cause.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a romantic way of saying it. I mean,
I think it's also wrong to even like analyze this very seriously because that's not really what the series is about.
That's true.
I know,
That's
but
very true.
this is what we were planning on doing. Is just nitpicking. But,
yeah, I just thought it felt awkward with the rest of the series. I'd rather they had kept it out, added something else there instead. But yeah, they could have been serious. But.
So my opinion, best girl here, but you guys will have different opinions as we go forward. We're going to continue with the other members of their terrorist organization, SOX, which the next one on our list is Satome, and she's a painter, an artist, and is the person who basically draws all of, like, the lewd and dirty images to spread around.
And she has to do it with her mouth because otherwise she'll get caught by the systems.
Yeah, strangely it doesn't monitor neck movements, but it does monitor hand movements.
Well, I don't think they're thinking any beaches are going to be going on, so...
I know. But also, I mean, we see a lot of lewd hand movements made by our good friend Ayame all the
time. Well, those are just finger movements. Well, okay, no.
No, she goes serious.
She could probably do the phone thing for that.
I don't think it works like that. I don't know.
I don't know, like, movements like this, you could be, like, plunging a toilet, or,
Yeah, she plunges a toilet quite a bit then. You think they...
So, what do you guys think about this character now?
I enjoyed her. I wish her voice actor got more voice acting roles.
That's only because you like Index and Railgun. So.
Oh, no, okay, I would like her voice actor otherwise. For those of you who don't know, she voiced a character in Railgun who, quickly let me say, the show really messed up. But I really like her voice actor. She has an extremely unique voice. It's hilarious.
It goes off on the trope where you see a little tiny girl, and then you hear her mouth open, and it's basically an old woman.
Practically, yeah.
Practically an old woman.
It's the same joke. And she starts off sort of blackmailing the character Okuma again.
But then she kind of
everyone likes to blackmail Okuma. It's a common theme.
But then she starts to develop as
yeah, and it's not like a long-term blackmail. It's just really quick. Yo, I need a favor from you.
I need you so I can paint Anna.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she has this obsession with Anna, and because of that, it pushes her into joining SOX, and then she learns about all the lewdness from Ayame and Okuma, and they start to, she starts to draw for them and become one of the members.
Yeah.
It's very much a nice shift in character, because I remember when I first talked to you about this, you didn't think that she would be that good of a character.
No, I just thought she'd be annoying as hell, but that space gets filled in later. I'd say her and Anna have sort of the same thing. It's like you think they're going to be like this, and they're not, but then they bring in another character who totally is.
Yeah.
So subverting expectations.
Sorta, but then going, yo, we're going to fill it in anyways.
Yeah. I like, one thing I really liked about her was the fact that in the beginning she had this obvious obsession with Anna, and the more she learns about dirty things and lewdness, etc., the more she seems to forget about that. Like, she's drawing other stuff all the time. Yeah. She's not drawing just Anna anymore, as she initially did. And I think it's an interesting way of showing, okay, she had this obsession with Anna that was obviously sexual, but that was really just more a representation of her being repression of her sexuality and her as a sexual person. And as soon as she breaks out of that by joining SOX, she's not obsessed with Anna, the symbol of her oppression, anymore.
And what they mean by that is they're drawing she's recreating pictures for them.
Yeah, because basically
they don't have scanners or anything.
Yeah, since they don't have scanners, since they can't copy the images, they have to hand draw all the images. So they show her mouth draw all the images. So they have to show her all the lewd images, the porn mags, the nudie mags, and she sees them and gets inspiration and recreates them for them to spread around.
Not just recreate, she does some unique works too.
But she needs inspiration for
Yes,
that,
she
and we'll talk
does.
about that one later.
A specific crossing of a pair.
2 pairs.
Two bananas, as they kept saying. Next on our list is your least favorite character, I believe, and the last member of Socks, which is Kosuri.
Dickhead.
Quite literally.
Quite
Quite
literally.
literally.
Which, actually, I hit myself for not realizing it sooner until afterwards. When they finally say it, I was like, oh yeah!
Basically, her hair looks exactly like the head of a penis.
But only when she's excited.
Yes. Only when she's...
No, I feel like it does all the time.
No,
There's parts when her hair just goes...
No, but I feel like that's always when she's like defeated or something.
No. If you actually, like, they actually did the time and effort to actually, like, do a lot of the transitions of her hair changing.
Guess I only noticed it once then.
Yeah.
Pay more attention.
Yeah.
It's not the best joke, but they clown it a lot.
Yeah, it's not...
They enjoy it.
Like, that moment where Anna comes into the room and, like, stabs the ground, and then, like, it's just a penis coming down, and you're like...
Well...
I feel like this whole thing was a setup for this joke right here.
Yeah.
It was.
But you decide, go.
She's pretty She flip-flops more than a politician. She basically has these illusions of grandeur, or delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
And she basically thinks Socks is just going to, like, basically win over everyone by being, like, the most extremist group possible. And, like, if it's ever something moderate or they're, like, working with society in any way, she hates it. So that kind of, like, gets her to betray the team later on.
But then she comes back.
An episode later.
Yeah,
It's
an episode
ridiculous, later. But also,
basically, she wants to take it to the extreme, but then you don't realize that you don't take things to extreme.
Yeah.
Sorta. She also thinks, like, she idolizes Ayame, and she hates Okuma because she thinks, like, he doesn't deserve his spot. And
he's too moderate.
Yeah.
She's one of the few characters that really doesn't feel like she's a unique character.
Yeah.
Like, you usually have a character that shows up like that just most people don't like.
Yeah, that's why I say most characters.
Yeah, most of our characters are good, but Kosuri just, I don't know.
They drop the ball hard.
And they never explain whether or not Okuma ever licks her foot. But,
You're just on that GTO thing there. Now, we come to our resident scientist here, Fua. Green-haired girl.
Stop saying resident.
Ayoko.
Fua's best girl.
Yeah, so...
She's pretty great. I enjoyed her.
I was on that board up until I decided Ayame was better. But,
So she initially appears to be the most, like, psychotic character. She does some really weird shit at the beginning.
Basically, the introduction of her character is, since this is such a repressed world, and since she's a scientist, she's very interested in a lot of these subjects, but the problem is, no one will tell her.
Yeah, she's almost like a sexual scientist, as in terms of that's what she's researching, not as in she's sexual. She's a pretty entertaining character.
Yeah, and so, really, in all of her lengths, that since she can't experiment on humans, she uses bugs and observes them to figure out how all of this works.
Their docking.
Yeah, all their docking. Because basically, she's very much interested in human life and how, human life is created, but no one will tell her.
She's also one of the most useful side characters.
Yeah.
Just like, if you need something done, you'll just call her in.
Yeah,
Well,
speaking of shining moment for her character right here, I don't know how anyone else feels about this, but the moment when I really liked her was when we're on the forest arc, with all the porn mags hidden in the forest that they need to go find, and right when everything's going bad, there's just this mob of students running towards the forest, and she's just standing there on a wheelchair.
And tossing.
Yeah, just like tossing.
Nonchalantly.
As she goes, it was
that's
an
an
amazing scene.
I liked her from, like, moment one, and then that was just, like, getting better and better. And, like, her addition was, like, really well done of just, like, this character who's just, like, this nice side character who is, like, the most helpful person.
And she never is an official member, but she does help out a lot.
She helps out.
Well,
she
she's
does
kind
it
of,
for the mags.
Don't you remember, like,
her payment of
the banana mags?
Yeah.
But if you remember correctly, the whole, like, it's in the episode where they're trying to find all the panty teas, where basically she's kind of the leader of the student body.
Yeah.
Like, and that movement. So she's kind of like they're not really a movement, like a terrorist group, but they're, just
It's just the students who are so repressed that they kind of lash out sometimes.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so she's
And
kind of
she'll
the
be
leader of
yeah.
that kind of body of people.
The opposite side, we have Anna as the leader of that group. But
Well,
before we move on,
we-
I'd like to
we-
hear your guys' opinions on Fua and like what you.
I enjoyed her. I mean, she
Yeah.
obviously wasn't my favorite because I have an obvious favorite, but she was one of my favorite characters
No,
of the
I
show.
really enjoyed her character. Just like the character design,
Her sleeves are adorable.
yeah,
Yeah.
you like the sleeves part. I like that part in the last episode where like they're all hanging out, and then it just cuts to just Fua just catching bugs. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's such a great little like moment there, and I like what they do with her character in a lot of the things.
Bug catcher Fua wants to battle.
But moving on to our bananas, we have Goriki.
Banana number 2.
Yeah, we have Goriki, nicknamed Mr. Gorilla, stuff like that. And he's basically the big hulking guy.
Yeah, he starts off hating the main character even though he saves him.
Yeah, and
Or MC saved him. That's the guy he saved at the very beginning.
Yeah. But the whole deal with his character is that since they're living in such a repressed society, he's kind of the symbol of people mixing up love and friendship a lot. Where he thinks that he confuses the two emotions up a lot.
Yeah.
Which, goes on for a great ongoing joke between two bananas, where a lot of the girls all ship Okuma and Goriki together.
Yeah, and also Goriki's actually kind of smitten by him. Or before that, when he I believe cross-dresses.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
save
First
Anna.
time he sees him cross-dressing, the only time actually.
Yeah.
He
I don't
gets
know,
all
for me-
flustered.
I just feel like he's like that, like he's supposed to be the representation of like the society and how they mix up the two emotions.
Well, yeah, and he doesn't understand sex at all or anything like
Yeah,
that.
he's.
But
extremely
you'll
ignorant.
constantly see just tropes of like, oh, do you want to walk to school or something?
Yeah, or I made you lunch.
Yeah.
And then because
He's
of that,
making him when he's in the hospital when he
He's
makes
cutting-
him the little like rabbit ear apples.
and because of that, it causes like a lot of like people to just be like, yeah, these two
They're
characters.
totally together. Except he's actually kind of useful to have around because he keeps away another character.
Then not like we're briefly talking on this because we're trying to rush here to get to at least Dawson's favorite character.
that you
and-
know of the series.
And we feel like we should talk in depth about, and that's kind of the face of, like, she kind of became the face of the series,
She
At the halfway
definitely
point.
is. I'd say she definitely
and
is.
that's Anna.
So let's talk about early Anna, and then later we'll talk about late
Yeah.
Anna.
Anna. So early Anna is like this pure, like, the pure
Yeah.
incarnate. As we've said before, her parents were leading the charge on
She's
the purity.
like a prodigy.
Yeah.
Her hair is white. Her heart is white.
She's perfect at everything.
Yeah.
She has like
and she's
godlike
super,
strength.
yeah,
and
she's super strong.
which doesn't come into play for a while.
No, it kind of comes into play.
Does
like,
it
the third,
come?
it kind of comes into play in like the third episode where like Okuma's trying to get down the rope, and then she's
Okay.
literally like holding
Yeah.
the rope up. Which that's the
Okay.
first
I forgot
example
about
that
that,
she
yeah.
has that
Her
I think
strength.
she's-
rather like a scary villain when they're trying to. Well, it depends on which side you're cheering for, but when they're trying to like escape and do their like exploits and stuff, and she kind of catches them.
Yeah.
So she's just like the authority you got to run away from at first.
She's our student council president, and
so
I think
she's
we
kind of-
forgot to mention that Ayame is vice president.
No, we did.
We did? Okay.
But
Yeah,
the
she's
way
very
that
close
this
friends with Ayami, but that character just gets thrown out the window. Like, and all those characteristics are just gone because in
It's so
episode
great.
5 and 6,
the part where everyone needs to watch up to at the very minimum,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
has the biggest drastic character change out of all.
actually happens on episode 4 when
Yeah.
she's saved from like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
some stalker.
for people who've watched this, as you know, Okuma does the whole jumping in, saves her, and then accidentally kisses her, and because of that, that kind of
Something gets set off in
triggers.
her head.
sets off all those repressed emotions because of how pure she is, and it goes into a very extreme case.
Yeah.
And I feel like you should talk about this in like
Okay, so Anna goes from being our number one most pure character on the list, and then from there, as she changes,
she starts as like kind of a villain in some sort.
I wouldn't say she's. I mean, she is a villain towards Socks, but I don't think she's quite presented as a villain either. Like
Yeah,
her
she's
mom
like the authority
is
figure.
definitely presented as a villain, but she's shown as like a figurehead.
Yeah, and there's earlier
sort
on
of.
conversations of, oh, will she join? Will she not join them? Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
she basically goes from being the symbol of purity to being overcome with emotions she doesn't understand.
I don't understand
And
these
Becomes
emotions.
the most
What are all these
psychotic,
feels?
crazy girl you'll ever see.
Yeah, she's completely psychotic at this point, just obsessed with her
Her love.
first love, almost.
Yeah, of Okuma.
Yeah,
And they say this early, but you can't distinguish love from lust. And she,
exactly.
So she's constantly chasing after him and trying to like force her love onto him. But the problem is that since Okuma starts off as this person who's trying to look at purity and stuff like that, she starts cracking down harder on lewdness because it's this like
she thinks that's what'll make him love her.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is kind of the direct opposite. But
yeah,
While at the same time being the most lewd person possible.
yeah, and the
exactly.
problem is that even though she cracks down on this, she becomes super lewd. There's the whole bit with the love nectar. She's the best baker.
Every episode after that, 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After 5 and 6, they harp on that for a while, but they
Her
do
whole
a good
character's
job.
just gone. It's weird. It's kind of baffling.
And she's going around like, I smell Okuma, I must be here.
Yeah,
And remember how Kajo's like her best friend? She threatens to kill her, and like
At some point.
just immediately after that whole situation, it was really
yeah. Basically, I like her because of her sheer aggressiveness. Like, no other character that I've seen reaches that level, with the exception of Hannah from Prison School, funnily, Anna and Hannah, but we're not talking about that
We're not
now.
talking about Anohana right now.
Nor Anohana either. But she is one of the few characters that is truly completely aggressive with no room to stop, no room for breaks. She
keep
just
going.
goes and
Sure.
goes and goes, and I think it's so great that they went all the way with that, because so many characters,
They only go halfway.
yeah, like a lot of yanderes this happens with, they'll go really far in it, and then they go, okay, time to show a cute side. But I think it's okay, it's decent, but I think it's most interesting when they do this.
They do show her like a cute side of her though.
Well, they
when
do,
when the
is
prefect
the
comes
thing.
in.
But they're still, but they're not showing that towards like her main love interest.
Mm.
Like everything else, she's got to get flustered around her love interest. This is just full out, full throttle all the time, and I think it's so much fun to watch.
Granted, you were telling me this earlier. It's like, dude, Okuma, you're terrible because you need to sit her down and just tell her to stop.
Yeah, that's his job, is to say, yo, this is lewd.
Yeah,
But he doesn't do that his job, ever. He doesn't go, Anna, stop, please, this isn't right. This is like the definition and beyond of lewd, what you're
Yeah.
doing.
he definitely would need to sit down and explain everything to her so she would understand exactly what's going on here. Which I honestly don't understand why he doesn't do,
He
but
doesn't even try.
yeah.
I think he's just scared.
Yeah, he's probably scared out of his mind.
Because he doesn't want to be
she's
anywhere near her.
ridiculously strong. She'll
But he has
Rape him
moments
at
to
a-
talk when she's like
a hat,
attacking him. and
drop
stuff.
of a hat.
Well, like you just kind of see that moment where he wakes up and she's just standing in the doorway, and she was standing in the doorway all night,
Just watching him.
just
Yeah.
watching him.
That was so great.
And you think he'd want to end it as early as possible, but never mind.
Yeah.
And, God. So,
Yeah, she's on also, like, as she's, I think, the most important character in the show. She
does-
kind of represents what the show is trying to
she
say.
hijacks the show so hard.
She
Yeah.
hijacks it, but I think it's for good reason.
the show goes off rails so hard that it's like, whoa, look.
I mean,
It's just 3 episodes of the calamity of, like, what happens after
When
that
she-
initial kiss.
she drops. Yeah, but that's exactly what to me at least, what the show was trying to say is that, okay, look,
Be repressed.
this,
so much.
yeah, we shouldn't repress
We-
knowledge of
We should teach it and
Yeah.
like make
sexuality. Shouldn't be repressed. It's something
Well,
that
just
should
everything
be
in general.
open.
If you hold it back, people are going to overreact when they finally get the chance.
exactly. Knowledge is power, and by holding this stuff back, she just doesn't understand what's going on and goes off the rails. And I mean,
and
if you-
hijacks the show.
yeah, just listen to her speech to
About basically
Hyoka.
she's
Everything I do is perfect because she's been like spoiled so much, and like she's been meant to believe that everything she does is perfect.
Yeah.
And she thinks that anything that to do with love, all of her actions towards it are right because it's for love.
She just doesn't know any better.
She doesn't know what lust is.
And that's exactly the point I think Shimoneta's
She also
trying to
becomes a
make when
violent,
it's
crazy
not.
bitch at sometimes, though.
Yeah, this is true.
The scissors. Oh,
The scissor scene.
The
Yeah.
perfect square.
the perfect.
Somehow.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. There's just so many moments.
She also
of
has superhuman strength, which we said before.
Which
comes into play in
Yeah.
Well, no, it comes into play because she constantly falls from huge amounts of heights, and they're like, okay, she's fine.
She survives. Yeah.
Like in that last episode, she falls down, and then it's like, okay, she's fine. Why? Because she has superhuman strength. Okay.
Yeah. The show in general will do a lot for comedy.
She becomes the Shizuo of the show.
Yeah.
She's just the
Almost.
force to, like, not be reckoned.
The force
to
is
be
just
reckoned
better
with.
leave alone.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go up against that.
Like, oh man, all the moments where she sniffed, like, it got super extreme where she just can sniff him out.
Like, figure out where he is by how he smells.
Like, that moment in episode 11, he has to sit there rubbing himself with soap so that she doesn't realize that he's there.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, but it's great because her aggression is never turned off, and it makes her constantly entertaining to watch.
So I'm gonna switch out in this next one because we should go to the other
it's time
character.
to move on.
But we should go to her, technically her kind of bodyguard in a way.
Yeah.
Suki Migusa. I don't know how to spell it, but best way we could just call this character is Mr. Trap.
Yeah.
Basically,
he's like kind of a trap.
Well,
No, he's totally trapped.
he's
A
always-
little bit.
He comes. This character comes in looking like,
Not by choice or anything.
Yeah.
He's the most brainwashed character of the show.
Yeah.
So much that, like, he thinks everything is lewd, but you can just tell him otherwise, and he'll just go, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay."
Well, that's what I liked about the twist on his character,
Yeah.
where you talked about how each character has a kind of a unique twist on it, where he comes in and first you
He
see
goes,
that.
basketball nets look like condoms. They're
Yeah.
too lewd. Take them
Well,
down.
Well, he comes in though, and you immediately think that she's a girl. Like he's a girl because of the
No,
same
I was
misses.
spoiled.
Oh yeah, you were spoiled on this.
No.
Long hair, stuff like that, and you think, oh no, there's a prefect person. This is the new villain.
Yeah.
This person's gonna fuck everything up and just and go, okay, this, and this. I'm gonna crack down on lewdness.
And they're
And then-
so incompetent.
Yeah.
And then you
hilarious.
discover how incompetent he is. Where even in the last episode, he blows up a vehicle because he's like, it's a co-ed vehicle.
Yeah, guys and
Yeah.
girls were sitting in this vehicle. It was probably lewd.
Yeah.
Okay, I have something to say on this. Episode 9 is titled Do Androids Dream of Electric Massages? For hilarious reasons, but for those of you who don't know, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is a popular and rather influential sci-fi book that inspired Blade Runner, another film. But they actually did more in the episode with that, which I thought was cool. Like they referenced the 3 laws of robotics. But also, I don't remember if it's in this episode or in the next one, but at some point they reference our friend the Trap as an android, which I think kind of describes him perfectly, as he's just doing what he's programmed to do. I don't know, they didn't do...
By program, you mean brainwashed.
Yeah, brainwashed, basically. But, I don't know. I found that interesting. I enjoyed the reference.
He basically doesn't have a personality.
Yeah,
He
he's...
just, whatever
his
personality they say, takes his personality.
Yeah.
Goes, okay, I'll do
Well,
it.
I like
We'll
that
do
bit
that.
where they said, I'm the gender I am is the gender they tell me I am.
Yeah.
And, it's like, wow, it's like this person's super brainwashed, this person's super just automated and
They're
stuff.
just so hilariously stupid. It's awesome. It's
Yeah, that moment, it's like, oh, you're here to, oh, I'm supposed to protect, I'm here to protect you. He's all the way in the forest,
Yeah.
scouting out for lewd objects, and it's like, really?
right here.
Oh, we have to take away all the toilet paper. Why? Because these are lewd objects.
Yeah, and then you don't realize till later when he's signing the FUO that you can just go, no, that's not lewd, and it'll go, okay,
He's
it's
like,
not
oh,
lewd.
I guess it's not.
And it doesn't matter who tells him, because FUO is just some random student that walks up to him and
He
goes,
goes,
is this lewd? And it's a yaoi mag.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, oh, that's lewd, and he goes, no, it isn't. It's
It's
a
super
piece,
healthy.
It's a super healthy piece on bananas.
And he goes, okay.
Okay,
He's
it's
like,
not
yep.
lewd.
We'll go with that.
And I feel like he's one of the, he's a late character, but, he's probably one of the more interesting characters in his, personality and
I just
design.
realized we totally skipped over the yaoi mag. Or we almost... We
We
mentioned it a few
mentioned it.
times.
We mentioned it, and we stuck on it, and then we decided to leave, because...
So, what's your name?
Sao Tome.
Sao Tome decides it'd be a great idea to start shipping
No, we mentioned that.
To ship
Goriki.
Goriki and Okuma.
To the point that she just starts drawing.
Yeah, there's a series. She makes like an 11 chapter series of just this yaoi between them, and like almost every single like side character girl just loves it.
They think it's the best thing ever. Even Ayame thinks it's the best thing.
Mostly the next character we're about to bring up.
Which one? Beacon?
Beacon.
So, this is an anime-only character, which I just found out, like, 5 minutes ago.
It's not that hard to see, though. She's pretty fan-servicey. She's just sort of like, this is the reaction of the general student.
Yeah, so she's basically this main background character that if you actually look out, in almost every episode, she's in the background doing something.
Yeah.
And, like, she's part of, like, she's there. Like, she's kind of, like, you see her there, a part of almost every part of the shenanigans involved.
Yeah. And just like Kosuri sort of filled in for what you thought Satome would be, like the annoying little brat, Beacon sort of fills in for what you thought Anna would be. Like, she's super pure and stuff. And she reacts to everything.
We had this discussion last night when we were watching the last episode.
That's her defining moment.
I don't think any of us can really argue on this. That second best girl is obviously Beacon.
Oh, she's great. It's just she's just fun to watch. It's nice to have a little background character that shows up.
Like the moment where she's in the like bus and she's trying to cover her eyes and like she's like or the moment she's playing rock paper scissors with black bass or bass black and she's like I got this, and it's like nope, I quit.
Takes off one piece of clothing and like feels a nipple. She's
like, I
can't do it anymore.
Too much. Yeah, if you guys haven't, you should look up and try to find like a little album of all the pictures she shows up in, because it's enough that it's not like an overwhelming amount of photos, but it is fun to see.
Character.
She's a background character, but the only reason why she's there is because she's the best background character. Because she basically like she's almost in every single shenanigan, but she's in the background, and you just kind of see her as this nice background character, which kind of shows off like. I don't know. I like what they're trying to not what they're trying to do, but like
she's just adorable.
Yeah, she's an adorable character.
She's great.
And now we move on to the villains. So I was thinking about this as we kept talking. Is you start off with Anna kind of as this villain, and then after episode 4, she kind of like I'd
say she becomes even worse.
But then
she's not a villain.
And then you go towards her parents.
Disaster.
Her parents are the next villains.
Force of nature.
And her parents are, I don't know, they're nothing to me because they're barely on screen. They're just trying to push more like politics, and you're like, okay,
the villains just kind of push the plot. But honestly, from
what
I've seen the manga spoilers, they actually do get away with some stuff later. But they're basically who Sox has to fight against early on. Yeah,
but then after that, what happens is that some of the other like terrorist groups kind of get a little bit more radical.
Yeah.
And because of that, and they start saying that they're supported by Sox, and because of that, those guys start to become villains. Specifically, the main one that I could think of, which is
Gathered Fabric.
Yeah.
Gathered Fabric, and their leader, White Peak, who basically is just this pervert who, he's pretending to be a revolutionary, but he just wants to, get underwear.
He's a rather minor villain, but he's kind of perfect for the screen time that they have.
Well, so I don't think he's a minor villain when they have a huge fight with him.
Exactly, but that was just an arc.
I think he was our biggest villain that we had. Not in terms of not in terms of importance to the story, because I think Anna's mom, Sophia, right?
Yeah.
Was our most important villain, but I think he was the most he was the biggest one that we had to deal with.
Yeah. So, now that we're done talking about characters and plot, let's move into, music. What did you guys think? For me, I didn't actually realize the music was there until my second watch through of this. And then I realized the music actually really good. You said that you had a story about
this. Okay, disregarding opening and ending for now, just the
general
music, I didn't think it was great. But I didn't think it was bad either. There was one of the recent episodes where they were doing the bus hijacking. They had this music playing during that sounded very Shoujo Maguru-esque. Did I pronounce that wrong?
No, it's Shoujo Maguru.
Yeah.
Shoujo Maguru.
It was honestly reminded me of that, which I was happy about. But also there was another point where that I was listening to when they were playing some other song. And normally, music isn't something I notice in a show unless it's really good or really bad. And there was one track in there, I don't know which one it was because I didn't stop to check, but it kind of took me out of the scene for a second because I was like, this is
actually music.
This is like not very good.
Really, it wasn't very good.
There was one part where I disliked it, but beyond that, I didn't think it was amazing, but it definitely wasn't bad either.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
didn't
just
realize
a decent soundtrack.
I didn't realize like how the music like played in because there's a lot of great tracks in there that they can constantly like the same 5 tracks they constantly switch around with.
Yeah,
but they're used in really good moments, and I just didn't realize it was there. But so maybe it was the best way to call the general like soundtrack is like not notable, but pretty decent.
yeah.
Now let's go
That's
to
what I
opening and ending, which is opening wise.
I find the opening surprising because video-wise, I think the opening is very good. Yeah, music-wise, I don't think it's actually a very good song. It's definitely a song I don't really want to listen to unless I'm watching it with the video. Hearing the song and watching like the opening together gets me really hyped for the show. But it's not an opening I really want to listen to by itself.
Because I have to disagree with you, because I love that song. Because I don't know, it gives me... The thing is, I remember telling you guys, it's like, I feel like when you listen to it, you're kind of preparing yourself for like some old 70s, 80s spy film.
Sort of. The music does its job, is I think the biggest issue here. Like, it does what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to sound like that, right?
Yeah, but nothing
like,
notable.
Bad or good, like, I'm not sure if you said it's bad, because it's
decent.
I don't think it's bad. I think it's just average.
Yeah, but I think like what they more focused on was like, okay, we need this specific type of music for this.
Yeah.
Right? We need it to sound like some sort of superhero theme song. Because that's sort of what they think of themselves as. They're like heroes and they're trying to save the day and everything. And I kind of like that because that's not sort of how they're sold to the audience. Like the audience doesn't see them like that, but that's how they see themselves in ways. Mm-hmm. And there's moments of like a Power Rangers kind of justice-y feeling at points, like, yeah, we did it, everything's gonna be okay, and like they float off into the sunset. But then there's other moments where I'll just call them Anna moments, where like that's what people are actually watching the show for, just like the psychotic, crazy turns that happens.
Yeah.
But for like what the show's trying to get across, the music kind of fits that theme really well.
Like that's why I think where I say it's decent, or if you like you're watching the show, you don't realize the music's there because it's not amazing.
I think it works best with an introduction too.
What do you mean?
Where the guy's like introducing songs.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
It
fits into that. Like the animation, for me, is what does it in that sense. Not like the actual animation style itself, which we'll get to in a second, but the clip series is fun.
But your favorite's the ending, though.
I sort of enjoy the ending. It sort of has a dance to it. It's sort of like a pump-up song.
Yeah. I remember at some point I was like sitting there and I kind of was dancing along with it.
It's like, join our group. We're super cool. We go like a dance and stuff.
Yeah, I like the visuals in the ending where they had the bubble art. And I don't know why, I just really like bubble art.
Well, and they always have a unique one.
Cutouts.
Yeah, well, they always have the first one's Ayame, second one's Okuma, and then the third one's always switched around.
Yeah.
With the last one being new characters that aren't even in the anime.
Yeah.
Come on, do the season 2. So season 2 when?
Yeah, I feel the same way about the ending as the opening. I really like it in tandem with the visuals and the video. But again, it's not something
I wouldn't
really
listen to that.
feel like listening to on its own.
I don't know, I could listen to the opening.
I thought musically the opening was better.
Mm-hmm. But visual-wise, the ending.
Visual-wise, the ending was just kind of fun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The best ending was, what was it, episode 7, where they taught you how to make that toy?
Oh, dude. That was great. That was clever. I'm so glad that they did that.
The live-action post-credit scene to the pool.
Yeah. They made one of their animators eat it or something
like
that.
Hopefully it wasn't used.
Yeah.
But you said animation now.
Segueing from that into animation.
What did you think about the animation?
My thoughts on the animation is the animation itself really wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not. It was definitely a show that I'm not watching for the animation.
You're watching it for the comedy.
Yeah. Like, it takes a little bit of getting used to. And it's not like other things where it's stylized in a way that's good. It's just kind of slightly subpar. But it it's definitely not what you're watching the show for, and you'll get used to it quick enough that you can just watch more.
Everything's very shiny.
Yeah, they do a lot. Everything's
there's a lot
very
of dripping.
shiny. There's a
A
lot,
lot
of
of liquid.
dripping, glittering.
Not what I meant.
But yeah, no, but yeah, they do like to make things shiny. But I don't know.
Besides
Their
that-
character faces look a little off. I think is mainly the thing, especially when Ayame wears glasses. For some reason, something about that. Ayame's glasses and Okuma's necklace, both of those in tandem with their face looked really awkward, which I don't think they were going for. Maybe they were, but for me it was slightly off-putting at first, but you get used to it. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I think
I have to agree.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think we already went through themes.
Yeah, I mean, themes and messages is something that we've already talked about. It's
Yeah.
oh, who wants to summarize a theme and message in like a sentence? Connor.
You do it. I know what you're going for.
I don't want to say it.
Sex ed's important, guys.
Yep.
Sex is important. Yay.
No.
sex ed.
No, sex is important too.
Everyone take a health class.
Please take health
Don't
classes.
go to
Please
private schools.
get educated. And I mean, we've talked a lot about the themes and messages in tandem with the characters.
Yeah,
So
we
I think
we
if
already
you don't
went
understand the
this.
theme, you might want to go see a doctor.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I mean, it's good and it's enjoyable, and thank you for
But
doing it.
I really
but-
like the themes that they presented because I mean I was saying this earlier where it's
Because
like
he's tired of defending Kill la Kill from people.
yes that, and if you look at today's society it's like, hey, we accept gore and violence, but like the minute like nudity, like partial nudity gets on screen, it's ooh.
The general argument is, my kid would never kill someone, but they would totally have sex.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, you overestimate your kid, people.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna make any jokes.
Comments on that.
So
Also, last minute thoughts. Did you guys get the pool joke?
Yay!
yeah, the full joke.
If you don't know what the full
Full
joke
joke
is,
is-
you must not have read anything about Shimoneta online previous to this.
And if you don't
'Cause
get more-
everybody mentions it.
And
It's
the
the
best
same thing as the American couch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the black
it's
couch.
basically, it's in a lot of porn videos. Like,
It's the equivalent of the black couch. And if you don't know what the black couch is, why are you listening to this podcast? You're probably too young.
no.
Or you just don't watch
Or you
a
just
lot
don't
of
watch,
porn.
yeah. But yeah, basically in the intro, before even the theme song, they show like them blowing up the pool and a bunch of
Yeah.
other like sort of like lewd situation. They have like a van and stuff. So,
Ikebukuro, not Ikebukuro, Akihabara is just blown up.
Yeah. They have the...
Akihabara cannot exist without lewdness.
They like Sledgehammer in each game.
I feel so bad for the page.
no, they sledgehammer the computer, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
It's like that's not how it
The
works.
computer's like got the H game on it. I
Okay,
guess. I don't know.
so overall, last minute thoughts, great.
It was
Um,
good.
It's a highly enjoyable show.
If you know what you want, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. It's by no means amazing, but...
Well, this
You
is
should
ready for people
definitely
who.
watch.
This is for people who've already watched it.
Oh, yeah, huh. Sorry about that.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we
As much as
enjoyed it.
we
Yeah,
did.
we enjoyed it. Not for any deep meaning, but for comedy.
I'd
And
like a season 2, but I'm not gonna be like, I don't know. saying-
Super pissed
season
if
2
we don't get one.
Season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in seeing like the light novels and the stuff to come out of that.
Yeah.
I
now
mean,
it's finally gonna be translated. So
yeah, because there's interest towards it. Like Jitsuwa Okusama and like
Yes.
they all got interest because of this season, and now people are getting on their butts to check.
Yeah, I
That's
hope
like
someone picks up the light novels over the manga. 'Cause
That's only you light novel
I
reader.
like original source material. It's always the best.
Next week we'll probably be working, but not really sure on that one.
We'll probably be talking about working or gate, depending on how
Working
fast
and
we
Gate.
get through that.
We will see.
But so for our last section, this is basically our general talk section where we'll basically, be talking about other stuff that's not very based around the anime, and just we'll probably add sections about what we're watching, or the current anime season, or
You may
What we're
call this
reading.
the circle jerk section. Sorry.
no, you may call this the shooting the shit section, where it's just this is more about us and opinionated parts, and just us talking compared to us trying to discuss something. We were thinking of doing some wrap up this week, but I realized how much doesn't wrap up until next week.
Yeah.
So
we need to wait till
at least
next
me
week.
and Dawson here will talk about a couple of the animes that we watched over the summer. I
Yeah.
watched a lot of them. Dawson didn't watch as many, and Connor didn't watch any.
I gotta watch or read Yu Yu Hakusho now.
Yeah.
I gotta do Higurashi.
What do I have? Hajime and I can't
No,
remember the name of it.
Hachime.
Michiko and Hajime?
No, Michiko and Hachi.
Okay.
Something Hachime.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so that's what we're planning on
Glad to
watching
get it.
next week. You already know what we're gonna be trying to watch next week. Depends on how fast we get through working. But since this is the first episode, let's just go generally. What have you been watching recently, and what do you guys want to talk about on the stuff that you've been watching recently?
Oh God, we have to do this.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
They've been making me watch Working. It's pretty good.
Well, yeah, because for next
This is
week,
not Connor's genre.
it's not. Yeah, it's
Not
not
at
your.
all.
It's not your slice.
Not your slice of pie.
Yeah, that's your slice of pie. You watched the anime recently, didn't you, Connor? The season 1 of a specific anime.
Did I?
Yeah.
Gate? I
No.
don't know.
The other one, the one you're raving about.
Oh, Ultimate Survivor Cage.
Yeah, how's that?
Oh, fuck, I forgot his name.
Kaji?
Kaiji?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Kaiji-kun? I think it is. Basically, it's the best show that no one's ever watched. So highly recommend that. I don't want to spoil anything, but basically it's about this guy who's super poor, and he keeps getting racked into these death games to try and earn money, but he never earns any fucking money. So, it's just like, he starts off in the worst situation, and he kind of has to climb his way out of it and not get killed along the way. So it's pretty interesting. I'd definitely suggest watching it. It has pretty great mind games, but the character kind of flips from like being a genius to an idiot too many times for me.
Yeah.
So
And you recently, Dawson, you showed us something really weird.
Yeah, okay. So, there's a couple things I've been doing recently. I just finished the Jitsu wa Watashi wa manga, which I really enjoyed. It was definitely worth reading, better than the anime. If you're thinking about watching it, just read it, and if you have watched it and you somewhat enjoyed it, read it. It's better.
Yeah, we'll add that to the wrap up, and maybe at some point we're gonna actually talk about that because
I'd be down to talk about
that's one of the best things I've read in a long time, in my opinion. I've not had more enjoyment reading that.
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Yamada, but I still very much enjoyed it.
I can't. Since we're kind of like 30 chapters back, there's a lot of content that I'm really excited for coming up. For those who don't know what Jitsu wa Watashi wa is, it's basically a series about a vampire and keeping secrets.
Yeah,
And
a dude who can't keep a secret has to keep everybody's secret.
Yeah.
Is basically the main plot point here, and it evolves past that into shenanigans,
Trolling.
a lot
of trolling by Akane.
Yeah,
And
it's just enjoyable, lighthearted. It's a really charming manga to read.
Yeah.
Like, the art style, also, in the beginning, the art style is kind of weird.
And then
it gets
becomes
better,
weird.
and it's got its own style that's unique, and I really enjoyed. Also, recently, I finally finished the 22 Index light novels.
Are you all caught up with that?
No, I still have to read the 14 novels of New Testament, plus I have a couple side stories to go through.
How you enjoying
But
that?
it's really great. The last arc was really fun. We finally got some good character development and stuff, so that was good. If you're thinking of... I'm not going to talk a lot about Index, because I could talk about it way more than I should.
I mean, I feel like at some point you're just going to be like, well, this week I read another thing of Index.
Yeah,
stay tuned for the video where Dawson just shills through
yeah.
Index all day.
There'll be something where I just talk about how great Index is for a while. But also, I've been watching... Honestly, I cannot pronounce this. Let me see if I can figure out what it is. It's by the studio that did Eureka 7, I believe, which I haven't watched, but I've heard is good.
Yeah, the anime you showed us that was really weird, and I literally gave up on anime for a night.
Yeah, it's like Bonin no Zamid, I think, which basically it's Zamid Lost Memories is the English for that. And the setting is extremely interesting. It's almost like somebody mixed a little bit of steampunk with fantasy, which and it almost sometimes it feels a little like a Miyazaki film. Other times
A Disney
it's
film.
its own thing. It reminds me a lot of Bebop and Fooly Cooly, not in terms of
tone, and
tone, but definitely in terms of like, I don't know. It's just occasionally I'm like, oh yeah, that seems similar to that. I'm really enjoying it.
Like visually.
Visually, its animation style is very interesting. Sometimes it looks surprisingly good and fluid, and then sometimes it's some dude's butt is like literally a box at one point. So it's pretty bad. But yeah, I think those are the main three things that I'm still working on reading. UQ Holder.
Yeah. Oh, you're planning on. Have you started that yet?
I'm 5 chapters into UQ Holder right now. I think.
So before
I just met Male Asuna.
Male Asuna?
Is her name Asuna? Did I mess that up?
Wait, who?
Oh, Setsuna.
Oh,
Male Setsuna.
Oh, Komaru?
Kamaru.
Oh, yeah, Kamara. Yeah. Basically, she's big. Okay, so
I'm as lost as you guys are.
Huh?
It's the continuation manga to Mohari Sensei Negima, for those of you who don't know.
And at some point, I probably will do a single video of me showing for that. But yeah, it's okay if they don't understand. This is just us talking and just kind of decompressing after that, the discussions and stuff like that. And also, in the future, we'll be talking about Berserk, One Punch Man, and other stuff, because One Punch Man release schedule is weird.
Is it?
The manga is.
Oh, manga-wise? Oh, yeah, I'm not caught up on that. I should do that so we can talk about it.
It's like, it'll be released on this day, and then it could be like weeks earlier or later than they say.
And then Berserk is us just going to be shilling to it. If you haven't watched or read Berserk,
Read Berserk.
Read Berserk. People watch Berserk. You can watch Berserk. But you should really read Berserk. Like, even if you don't usually read manga, Berserk is a great gateway into enjoying manga. If you're okay
lots
with
of
Berserk.
Gore warning.
Yeah, gore
Trigger.
and rape.
Trigger
stuff
warnings.
like that.
No, don't trigger me. We're not showing a PETA video.
I feel like at some point, me and you, Dawson, will have this long discussion about catching up with UQ Holder.
Yeah.
Whenever you catch up, and that's probably that's a lot of what's going to be in this post section is us just talking about stuff that we've watched, other people watched, and for me, I mean, what have I watched recently? I don't know. I finished Roku no Yusha. That was pretty good, but I feel like I'm gonna save that for anime wrap up.
Yeah.
Rewatching Working again. Manga is the same. I don't want to talk about any of the manga I'm reading because you're not caught up, and you don't read half the manga I read.
Oh, shit.
Except for Berserk.
Berserk and One Punch Man are the only things I read.
I'm probably going to do this on a daily basis, but watch Samurai Flamenco. It's a great anime. Best anime ever. Samurai Flamenco, 10 out of 10. But yeah.
Yeah, we can't do what Andrew's actually watching because we'd be here for hours.
Not really, because...
Half of them have ended at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because, like I said, I'm waiting for the summer wrap-up next week.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but besides that...
We will be here for hours then.
No, that's during our fall shotgun round.
Yeah.
We say shotgun.
Shotgunning pilots.
But
fun.
So
yeah,
like focus on one and ignore the rest.
So you mean One Punch Man?
We're just gonna talk about One Punch.
But besides that, I'd like to
seen the One Punch Man pilot.
So
Yeah, but we'll have to watch it again with official subtitles this time.
But so I'd like to thank you, listener, for sitting through all of this.
Listener, indeed.
Listener, you're a bomb.
I think zero is a plural, actually.
Yeah.
Someone will click on this video eventually.
You won't watch it till the end, you crazy bastard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe somebody will. The people who listen to podcasts will. But yes, thank you for listening, and until next time, this is the Anime Symposium. Goodbye.